everybody, Geraldine Rose here. Hey, if you still need to get a Mother's Day card done, let's try this out. I don't know if you guys can hear anything, but the neighbor's kids are playing in the backyard right now. That's okay. That's very apt because there is a Mother's Day card coming out of this. This first card, the reddish one, this was done during a workshop, so I wasn't recording. Ishani did it, so if you want to go look her up, I combined my techniques. We used alcohol inks. I used a shimmer paper especially built for alcohol inks for that one over a debossed panel from using one of the cover plates. For the second card that was my own, I'm checking out which side of the paper is the smooth one there. We're putting down some alcohol blending solution first so that the alcohol inks will flow a little bit smoother, using my puffer to spread them around. And when you first started out, they disperse quite a bit. Because I'm going to be doing letters for the mom, I wanted a little bit more interest in each of those words, so that's why I'm adding more alcohol inks on top here. If you tap the bottle, you get little teeny drips, which put little circles within the bigger circles, and that's how you get that speckledy look within there. Now, some of the edges on those circles haven't dried, and you can take some foil and put it down so that your pretty side is up facing you. You're going to let it sit for a few seconds and then peel it back. If you want, you can put some alcohol ink over the top, and that'll help to tint the foil as well. I've decided I'm going to deboss a cover plate again. This time the Zero Waste, the Wildflower Meadow die set from Altenew. Checking out what my settings are on my Spellbinders plate system. Making certain that I've got the squishy mat there and then put the adapter plate over top. You run it through. I used heavy watercolor paper for this so that I would get a good deboss on it. And yes, it's done. I've die cut out the 2 M's that I need. And I didn't do the O because you're going to see what we're going to do with that pretty quick. I had cut my original Yupo panel in half from the original 5x7. I knew I wasn't going to be using all of it. The stuff that was left over, I grabbed out the mixed foliage die set and I cut out flowers from it. And these flowers shall become our O. So they were pushing them out of the die cut with our pick tool. I put them down on the back of my Misty, you know the foam part that's there? I grabbed out the back of one of my paint brushes because I don't have one of those ball apparatus tools that's big enough to do this. I pushed it in so that the flowers would actually have curled petals on it. I'm gluing them together there. I am actually going to stack all 4 of these together so that I get a very, very full daisy type flower. So this is really happy. It's got extra happiness to it. An alcohol marker is coloring around the edges of the middle of that flower. For the shadow behind the M's, we're using some glossy gold metallic cardstock that's going to tie in with the foil that's on the flowers, and also another element that's coming up pretty quick. There we be up at the top left-hand corner, the geometric frames die set. One's in brushed gold, one's in metallic gold. I also decided to cut out the debossed panel with the mix and match frames die sets. One's in brushed gold, one's in metallic gold. Then I'm jumping back to all those flowers I cut out from the mixed foliage. And I'm using my alcohol markers on them. I'm putting like the veins in the middle of the flowers. That's going to pop them into life and it's going to match them up with all the speckles that are on the O flower. Now, the inside of the card. I have to have one of my favorite sentiments from the You Go Girl stamp set. Put it down in yellow first. I am bringing a brush in. We're doing a different ombre this time. We're doing a halo ombre. So just tap, 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 tap around the outside of that sentiment. You can see when it comes down, it ends up looking like it's glowing. Spread some happy energy, right, everybody? Because this person is a whole lot of awesome. What mom isn't a whole lot of awesome? Custom stamp on the back. Of course, always have to have that. And this one had to have some love in it. So that one was handmade with love. For the sub-sentiment on the front, I wanted to bring in another element of gold. I've got some watercolor paper out here. I'm taking a chance with this glimmer machine because you know you really should be using hammer. But hey, I was experimenting. The Spellbinder Sprig Magnolias has a Happy Mother's Day sentiment in it. Got that down with some Aurora foil. Ooh, didn't turn out. You see on the right-hand side there? It didn't take. Watercolor paper just wouldn't take it. So I smartened up and I redid it with the hammer mill. And watch this. It literally flies off here after it's cooled down. I should have used a brighter metallic gold though. The Aurora, it's really pretty, but you need a bolder font for it. Now that most of the components are ready, we're going to start assembling the fine frames first because they're in the background. That's where having a precision tip glue really comes in handy. They also need an acrylic block so that you can get them squashed down all over the place. I am putting the flowers in a cascade, little ones up at the top, bigger ones into the bottom. Cutting apart some foam squares because this one flower is going to go over top of the M in the corner. Part of it's going to overhang, so we just need to compensate for that so that everything is at the same level. That's getting set down into place. Let's see what's coming up next. Am I going to throw some enamel dots at it? Yes, we're throwing enamel dots at it. I wanted the bigger ones for the bigger flowers. I've got several different tones that I'm using. I'm also using the Dazzling Gems for some of the smaller flowers and the Pink Fresh Ombre drops as well because there's different types of flowers in there. So I wanted there to be different types of embellishments. Of course, they're all in like the yellow tones so that they tie in with the monochromatic scheme that we've got going on for this card. One little yellow flower for the love. Time for splatter. So this is just using one of the oxide sprays. I've dipped my fan brush in so that I get smaller droplets. I want it to be mostly in a diagonal to tie in with the flowers on that one side of the card. Some of the little yellow dots of paper that were left out from the zero waste cover plate, I brought them in because I was like, you know what? Those will actually do well as embellishments too. So they're getting dotted here over the front of the panel. There we are, everybody. That's the finished Mother's Day card. I know I always say this, but you go be that change that you want to see in the world because our mindset creates our reality, right? I want to thank all of you for sticking with me this week while I wasn't feeling so well, hence the pink house coat. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.